Welcome. I'm Kit, and the one sneaking around is Bear. Welcome to the Estastar Library. As I said, I'm Kit, and I share stories of life on another planet. If you like the stories, please subscribe to our channel. We will post a new video on Saturday and Sunday, and occasionally through the week. So do not forget to click the bell so you will be notified. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comment area. I will read and respond to all I receive, and daily. First, I would like to say all graphics in the video are designed by me with the use of Coral Paint Shop Pro, Pinterest, also paid subscriptions to both Incarnate and Epic characters on Steam. I do have all rights to use them. The links will be provided below for each one, and if you want to go and check them out. Now, today I want to introduce you to the world of Estastar. It is like Earth, however, it is in a spiritual realm. Estastar has most everything Earth has, except for the exception of automobiles, and Bear is running around again. Bear, stay still. Keep him company. Okay. As I was saying, with the exceptions of automobiles and firearms, those of Estastar are primitive when it comes to such things. They do not have, well, they do have the materials to make the items. They just have no need in them. As you listen to the stories, you will become familiar with the world and the characters within it. They speak what is referred to as English. However, they refer to it as the common language, as they only have three: the ancient, the mystic, and the common language. The first story in the series will be in time of old and or the beginning of time. The beginning of time mostly. And then the time of old will come. We are going to provide graphics to show how some things could look and scenes for the stories as much as we can. Also, I want to tell you a little about how I started to write the stories and why. It is quite an interesting story. But first, here are some maps of Estastar. This is Estastar, and the BHP is before the High Priest. You'll get to understand what that means later on in the stories. The next map I'd like to show you is the garden. That is what it will look like in the beginning of the stories. That's the map of the garden. Until Odin had his little fit. That will come later also. And then that is the Saltarn. Somewhere there's a Saltarn. That is the Saltarn. That is the home of the High Priest and the beginning of all life on the planet. It all started on the Saltarn. And that is what you're going to learn if you stick with us. Now, as for the rest of the story, come here, Bear. I want to tell you a little about how it all began. And I'm camera shy, so you have to watch something else, and not a black screen, I promise. There we go. Alright, I'm Kit Kat. I go by Kit Kat TriStar. TriStar is character in the stories. When we first started, I was 8, maybe 9. Anyway, I would go to the weekends and spend the weekend with my dad. because my dad and my mom were divorced. Well, I met a young lady, and her name was Korea, and she was 9 years old. And we were friends. I never knew anything about her writing stories or anything. We were just friends. We used to run around together and play together. My mom and I got into it, and I went and lived with my dad. And that was a couple years later. And I was about 10, and she was 12. And we got into an after-school activity called playwright and story writing and drama. Anyway, our instructor, our teacher, told us to write a story about a country, populate the country. Do what you can to to govern it, to make the laws and the rules and the people. And that was our assignment over the weekend. So we were in the story write, and she would write a little bit of the story, then I was to write a little bit of the story. Then she was to write, I read what she writes, then I write, then she reads what I write, and she writes. You get the basic idea, I'm sure. However, that's not the way the first story was written. And the first story was written by her, out of a book that she had written when she was 9 years old, which really, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I was too young. She wrote, or she copied, the whole planet instead of a country. We had a planet, and I didn't write any of it. However, I did read the books that she was writing out of, or using for reference. The one that we turned in was called Estastar, and it was about Estastar, but she renamed it to Estastar, and it sat beside a star, the northern star in the sky is what she would say. We did pass. We got an A on it, and the teacher said it was very creative. However, the teacher threw a monkey wrench into it, and she says, now we need to write stories pertaining to said planet. Everyone else had a country. We had a planet. Korea would write the stories, and I would write the stories with her. And she had 3 books. One of them was Estastar, The Lord's Garden, I Live 2 Worlds, and then there was one called Princess. Those were our reference books. Those were the first 3 books she wrote. From the time she was 9 to the time she was 16, she was writing these books. And I was helping her at the end. Those 3 books were in our locker, and she was in a car accident on her 16th birthday. And she was presumed dead. And we buried the coffin with things of hers in there because they couldn't find any trace of the body, her body. The car had blown up with her in it. Her mother had given me her stories and her necklace, which had the key to our locker. Well, I should tell you, you could only get in our locker together. We had to be together to get in our locker. The 3 reference books that we used were at the top of the locker, and it took both of us and both our keys to get into it. So her mother gave me the key to the locker, and when I opened the locker, the 3 books were gone. So, the beginning of time and the time of ode was in the Estastar book. And I don't have that anymore. So what I'm going by is what we wrote in school. Her mother also gave me the rest of the stories that we worked on. That is how this all began. She was a very good friend of mine, kind of odd. You could say off the wall. She even hid around corners like Bear does. However, she was my dearest friend. She helped me through a lot. Through the abuse my mother would give me, I would escape into the stories of Estastar with her. And when I went back to live with my mom, that is when I started writing even more. Enough about me. Korea used to start the stories off with a crazy saying or something she had wrote. In a way, it doesn't really give Estastar very much credit, nor does it give Earth credit. However, she believed it did, and I want to share that with you. Estastar, Kit Kat TriStar. Imagine, if you can, a place where women are true to their minds, body, self, and soul, where men are more than true to their manhood. Can you even wonder what such a place would be like? Stop. Do not try. For if you are truly of Earth and agree with Earth's ways of life, then your mind is closed. For when those of Earth do not understand something, they will and do destroy it. There is such a place. I will tell you all about it. If you would like, come follow me. Meet me in another place and time, in space. Join me if you dare under the cherry moon. All is possible, all is true. Take you to a place where magic is all around you, where horses roam and unicorns call home, where there is no different religions, no pollution. Just imagine a place where the Lord's love for His children live free. Join me if you can, with an open mind and a heart of a child, one not yet corrupted by Earth's ways of life. Come join me, live free, free to be whatever it is you truly, really wish to be. That is what she used to say about Estastar. However, once you get to reading the stories, you can't wonder where she came up with that. However, it is different than Earth, and there is no pollution, and it's a lot different. It's more of a spiritual beings than they are actual people. Anyway, that was in loving memory of Korea Nudinste. Born May 15th, 1968. She died July 25th of 1983. May she rest in peace, my dearest friend. I want to share these stories with all of you, and I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy telling them. They will take time. They will be broken up into different videos. Some of them were quite short, some of them were quite long. However, the videos will be posted hopefully Saturday and Sunday, and occasionally through the week. And I do have to rewrite the first one, so it's going to take me some time. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I hope you will join us on the next story, The Beginning of Time. Until we meet again, blessed be.